Wow, people got questions and opinions on the internet? Really? Who'd have thunk it? How does that apply to real estate? Let's find out next. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. And today I want to talk about questions and opinions that people have about real estate and relocation on the internet. And I've got some of those right here, and I can't wait to get into them. But first, I want to let you know that if you're thinking that Idaho might be the place that you'd like to explore a little bit more, might be the place that you want to relocate to, give us a call. All of us here on the Treasure Valley Dave team, we've all made that relocation journey, and we're really looking forward to answering your questions so you can find out if Idaho is the place for you. And if you like this video, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And let's get right down to it. First comment goes like this. Well, I'm just about giving up on being blessed to move out of Northern California. We refuse to be part of the greed game all other states we've researched are playing. Even if we could buy, what will happen in a few years when we'd need to sell? You know, it can't stay this way, and they're going to drop to where they should be, and we'd lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. No way. Greed is a very evil thing, and we do not live our life that way, nor will we let them do to us. So my heart breaks, but we see no place we'd like to live and have some land that isn't in the high 700s. Well, a few things on there. I could give my opinion, and I'll give you just a brief one, and then we'll see what other people say. But it's, if it's greed, then when you go to sell your house, then why don't you make it $10,000 or give it away or something like that? Otherwise, aren't you being greedy? And that's the same thing up here in Californians are blamed for all the high prices in Idaho, but the Californians aren't selling any of the houses in Idaho. It's people in Idaho that are selling the houses. So wouldn't that make Idahoans increasing the prices of houses and not Californians? Just throwing it out there. They say that greed is a very evil thing. Okay, then why do we even have any prices on houses? Isn't that just another symptom of greed? And yeah, it's not. We know it can't stay this way, and it probably won't stay this way. Things always change. The market changes. Real estate market changes. And so we've broken their heart because they'd like to live in a certain place. They like to pay a certain amount, and they like to have a particular thing. So if all three of those things come together at one time, that's great. If they don't, that's life. So you have to kind of figure out what you really need versus what you'd like to have and kind of go from there. All right, moving right along. This is a question, and she wants to know, I'm wanting to sell my house now because of the market and then buy in about 6 to 8 months. Does that sound like a smart move, or should I just wait until I'm ready to buy and do both then? In my mind, I'm thinking I would get a higher price for my house now, and if I wait to buy, and then the cost of houses will have dropped. Well, that's a pretty big assumption, huh? Some of the comments are, absolutely nobody has a crystal ball. So, another person says, depends on the neighborhood you intend to buy in and the one that you're trying to move from. The housing market is not going to crash like some folks are hoping for. It'll correct by slowing down eventually. That's speaking nationally. We still have a housing shortage, so that would need to change first. Some markets will always be in demand. Many people thought the crash was going to happen already and are paying big money on rentals. Inventory is at an all-time low, and it's going to get worse. Less people will choose to make upgrade moves because they would have to give up their 2.5% to 3.5% interest rate and would have to get a rate above 5%. That's a good point. The question now is, with the stock market crashing and home sales slowing due to interest rates, is anyone rethinking about moving out of California? Answers to that question are, those are the least of our issues with California. If that's all you care about, stay. LOL. Totally not trying to be rude. It's the truth. Another person says, a lot of families, it seems like mine, are leaving or have left to save their kids from COVID school, policies, education in itself, and just the plain ridiculousness. These bills that affect school-age kids and are being shelved for now until after November. I guess that means the elections. With 0 to 5 kids able to get COVID shots now, that will probably go into effect the 2023 school year. So I guess some families are moving out because of their kids and the COVID policy and what schools play in that role. Another person says, it's best to either wait for prices to go down on houses or interest to go down. But price is more important because you can always refinance when interest goes down. But if you pay a higher price along with a higher interest, it doesn't make much sense financially. Okay, so that's kind of, I could disagree with a lot of that. But his conclusion is this. But some people just want to get out of California, which you can't really put a price tag on freedom. That is spot on. Another person made the comment, the stock market is everywhere, and when it really hits, houses everywhere will be affected. It's not just a California issue. Gas, food, and the market will affect everyone and everything. I know I'll catch flack for saying this, but when things get real bad, and it will, it's better to have a base where you can depend on, and people you know, rather than being somewhere where you don't have those resources. I've said in the time and time again, it's better to bug in than bug out for those very reasons. Unless you have ready available resources, you're screwed. Are your new neighbors going to trust you? Response to that was, I agree. Another, better to know who's a friend or foe. And another, I absolutely agree with you. So that's my observation from moving from California, was that, you don't know your neighbors. How many of you people out there, and you can certainly leave comments down below, I'd be kind of curious to find out, don't know any of your neighbors? Maybe you know one, and maybe you know the other ones just enough to wave at them or know that they belong in your neighborhood. And then that's about it. I'd be curious to find out people that have, say, moved here to the Treasure Valley, that have you made friends with your neighbors and other people in your community that you have so much in common with. You have the same, fears and hopes and things like that you create a pretty tight bond with these other people. So, yeah, you want someone to have your back. I got to tell you, when the stuff hits the fan, I'd rather be up here in Idaho because I know that there's a lot more like-minded people, and wherever the threat's coming from, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that will be standing up to that. Sure, there's a lot of people in California that will stand up to it, but the government, the bad guys, the drug addicts, it's overwhelming, and we just don't have that here. Moving right along, leaving California wasn't just because of the real estate. It's leaving everything that doesn't work for us. It just happened that the market was good when my husband retired and finally able to leave. Just got in Idaho a couple days ago, and we noticed that we laugh more and less tension. I can say that's exactly how it was for us and many of the people that we've helped move up here. Another comment is, if everyone just stopped looking for politicians to be their saviors, we'd all grow up and figure some things out. I've said all along that I wouldn't leave my home until some other place felt like home. We haven't found that yet. That's pretty prescient. And yeah, why would you leave if you don't know what the other place is like? Do your research. Make your fact-finding trips. When the Treasure Valley Dave family, before we were the Treasure Valley Dave family, we made our trip all the way across the country, all the way to the very eastern points of Tennessee and all places in between, because we wanted to actually be there to feel if it was home. And nothing really felt like home until we got here to the Treasure Valley. Another comment is, the cost of living in California will not get cheaper. And think about that for a minute. If you're waiting for things to get cheaper because the next election, or maybe some of your old-time politicians are about ready to kick the bucket or something, have things ever got cheaper in California? Have they ever got easier? Have they ever been less government regulation? Just throwing that one out there. If you can think of something, please put it in the comments below. Another comment is, I think majority of the people in this group aren't moving out of California because of the stock market or that housing prices were soaring out of state. If and when home prices drop in California, they'll drop in other states too, effectively canceling each other out. For us, when we're leaving due to the destruction by New Saloni and the supermajority. I'm thinking he means Gavin Newsom right there, huh? And supermajority obviously is the Democrats in California. But I will say that hindsight is 2020. Obviously, perfect timing would have been to sell in California a few months ago, get free rent back, and then buy in fall out of state. Alrighty. But this guy is absolutely spot on again. There's some really smart people that make comments on the internet. Okay, not all of them, right? But yeah, if house prices drop in California, statistically they're going to be dropping everywhere else across the country. If the nationwide the stuff hits the fan, right? Another comment, I'm thinking we need to change the knuckleheads in Sacramento and DC. Well, okay. That really hasn't changed anything so far, has it? I mean, has inflation ever gone down? Leaving California as soon as we can. Sure. No way. Now people in charge of California are telling residents to back off charging their electric cars, the same electric cars they want in every driveway. I guess that's kind of indicative of the whole thing about California. I mean, you can't do anything right there. You're going to be, hosed. Another person says, yep, wishing I left sooner. Yep, can't argue with that. Another person said, leaving California isn't just about real estate. For me, it's just a small aspect of the larger picture. And that was exactly what it was for us. In fact, real estate didn't even come into the picture for us when we made the escape. We just wanted the other stuff in that larger picture. Another comment, it's smartest to stay where you have a good food supply and network. Well, now that's very true too. Like we were saying just a minute ago, you can have a good network up here. When you get up here, get moved in, start going out, meeting people, volunteering, and within a very short period of time, you're going to have more friends than you may have ever had before. And food supply, so here in the Treasure Valley, we're surrounded by all these mountains, and the snow is up in the mountains in the winter, and then when it starts to warm up, all that water comes down, gets captured by dams, hydroelectric dams, and then it's metered out for irrigation for lawns and stuff, but also for farms and growing food. So we have up here, and we have such a mild climate. We do have 4 distinct seasons, which is great, but we do have, it's so great up here for growing so many things. You can put a garden in your backyard, and you can grow a great amount of food to supplement, whatever kind of stuff hits the fan scenario that might come up. Treasure Valley Aaron's actually looking at getting rabbits just in case, so they'd have a little bit of meat in case we go to that Great Depression. Another comment, it's not about deciding anything differently if you can't any longer find a buyer for your house. Those that waited to list last week or are planning to soon missed the boat this cycle, I'm afraid to say. So apparently this guy's saying that the market in, I guess, California, I'm not sure where he's from, is changing. And the market's changed up here too. Another comment, definitely not rethinking, but waiting for sure. I've seen loads of people selling and renting while waiting for prices to drop, but honestly, nobody knows when that will be. We are currently cutting our expenses to pay off our single credit card and vehicle. Then it will be stacking cash. When we do leave, we don't want the stress of figuring stuff out. Been there, done that. Me too. We've worked hard to get where we are. My husband has a really great job. He will continue to work, and when the time is right for housing prices, we will make our move, and he will accept an easier position at work. That's our mindset. It's a great plan. So another question that comes up, if you're looking to sell your house, sell it now. We will be going into a recession soon. He said reception. I'm going to say recession. Maybe, I don't know. Internet. Nobody proofreads anything anymore. If you're going to sell your house, sell it now, because we're going to be going into a recession soon, and there are indicators that it could be deep, and some are even talking the D word. I guess that means depression. In any case, the real estate bubble. Is there a bubble? Can you have a bubble with such low inventory? The real estate bubble will burst in conjunction with the slowdown. Sell your house now. Put the proceeds in the bank and rent until you have it all together for the move. Then, when you do move, you will more than likely be moving to an area where prices have dropped, and you could be in a position of selling at the top and buying low. Woo! Be proactive, be smart. So a response to that was, this may work for some, but our mortgage balance is low and payments less than half of what rent would cost us. There's a thought. Maybe these people are smart too. Another comment was, selling may not be a bad idea, but selling and waiting to buy can have disastrous consequences. Some believe housing is going to crash, but this may not be the case. There is increasing, all caps there, he's screaming that one, there is increasing demand for housing as the population increases. Well, that's true. All those people coming across the border need someplace to stay, right? Also, inflation alone means products, including homes, are going to go up relative to the value of the dollar. Then there's interest rates. Historically, they have been above 8%. The 3% rates people were getting were the anomaly and are not coming back for years under these conditions. If they do, you can refinance later. Now, that's a good point. To sum it up, following the advice of selling now and waiting to buy is dangerous and not worth the risk. IMO, in my opinion. Yeah, so that guy is smart, but saying maybe kind of the opposite of what the first guy who thought he was smart was saying. The next person says, in all caps, so she's screaming this on the keyboard, worst advice ever. OMG. Are you even the kind of financial advisor, mortgage professional, real estate professional? Not one person can predict what's going to happen, but yay, sell your house and rent for double. A lot of good points in there. Another comment was, selling now would be a mistake with inflation at 10%. The house maintains value as the dollar drops. Well, that's true. I wish I could sell now, but honestly, it's too late at this point. Feds are raising interest rates tomorrow, probably 0.75. I will hold on until we get this lily-livered nut job out of office. Jesus, take the wheel. Alrighty. And that's something I see a lot of times, like, well, if it's God's will, we'll move. What does that mean? So, God obviously gave you a smart intellect, ability to reason. So, are you waiting for, some bad guy looking for something to steal to break into your house? Is that going to be your sign? Or maybe watching this video is your sign. Another comment is to that person was, get off your duff and do what you have to do. He had made a loan during Jimmy Carter's days at 18% for the purchase of a home. As we were coming out of that, there were people who thought the interest rates would not go below 10%, and we were still making loans. I guess he was a loan officer. This guy kind of sums it up simply as, let's go Brandon. Who's this Brandon guy? Another comment, I'm glad you have a crystal ball. If we could predict the market, that would be wonderful. Buy within your means when you make the move and enjoy life. I know many people that wish they would have bought a couple years ago, but they have been waiting for the market to crash. Lots of rent money going down the drain. Yeah. If you're smarter than the real estate market or the stock market, then obviously you're going to, at some point, end up with so much money that none of this really matters, right? Someone responded to that, but I think some people that bought houses 2 to 4 months ago thought that they were buying within their means. I'm afraid they're going to find out that they won't be able to afford them now. That's really terrible when you think about it. Let's think about it. I mean, she told us to, right? So if you bought 2 to 4 months ago and now your principal and interest payments are locked in, they will not go up. Wages are going up. I mean, you're seeing those numbers nationally. The government is reporting that wages are going up. So how is it that these people that bought houses 2 or 4 months ago are getting screwed? I don't understand it. It's like some people just think they're smart and throw stuff out there, see what sticks. And if you don't agree with them, well, then you're the dumb person, right? Anyway, just smile and nod. Another person says, doesn't make sense to throw away thousands a month to rent just to wait for everything to plateau. It won't crash like it did in 2008. Then a response to that was, just wait, job losses are next. And then they linked to a story. Another person said, go ahead and think that all you want, but many knowledgeable people are saying this could be worse than 2008. And the response to that was, there won't be a bubble burst. Last time they wrote mortgages to anyone who could fog a mirror. Well, yeah, that's very true, huh? What we have going on today is a whole different world from what it was in 2008. So there's some things, some opinions, some comments. If you have opinions and comments, please go ahead and put those down in the comments below this video. I'd love to see what you think. Is the direction of this right? Should you sell where you are now, rent, and then move up here after the market crashes and be a genius? Or should you not move because you don't know anybody up here? Not that you couldn't get to know anybody, right? Should you just, if you have a need to move and you want to get away from whatever's going on down wherever you are that's not going on up here, and you're in a position to move, maybe retirement's there, or maybe it's time for a career change, then just live life. Just give us a call. Shoot us a text, send us an email. We'll be glad to tell you all about what's going on up here and answer your questions and give you the information so you can make an informed decision. That's what we really want to do. And if you like this video, please go ahead and like it. Subscribe. It'd be fantastic if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell and then share this with someone that needs to see it. Well, thanks for stopping in today. And as always, this is Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home.